Welcome to Lunch with Legacy Leaders, a weekly talk show with local and national thought leaders discussing issues impacting the Black community. Now introducing our host, Miss Ann Marie Sorrell.
Good afternoon and welcome to Lunch with Legacy Leaders. I'm your host, Ann Marie Sorrell, President and CEO of the Mosaic Group. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us this afternoon as we tackle some of the most interesting and important issues in our community. Before we get started with our broadcast, I want to take time to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Thank you to Demesman and Dover Accident Attorneys, AARP, the Florida Lottery, FAMU Mary, and All of Us Research Program at the University of Miami. Today, I will be joined by Commissioner Mike Gelin, who is also a candidate for mayor for the city of Tamarac. Welcome, Commissioner Gelin. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? And thanks for inviting me on your show.
Great, thank you. And let me make that correction, Vice Mayor Mike Gelin.
Yes, thank you.
So, this is a very interesting time. We are in the middle of a high, very public and visible election term where we have elections happening across the state. But before we dive into that, I want to just have you share in your own words. Well, before I have you share your own words, just a little bit about Vice Mayor Gelin. He is a son of Haitian immigrants. He and his family moved to Florida from Brooklyn, New York, in search of offering their children a better life. He attended Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia, and moved to Tamarac, where he opened his own insurance brokerage and now lives with his wife and their son. And in 2018, Mike was elected to serve on the City of Tamarac's commission, where he has been a champion for our community. So I want to just lead with that introduction. And Mike, I've been knowing you for years and I met you in, the business community at various networking events. And, you were always just everywhere, getting building your business and networking and connecting with folks. So how did you transition? And I know you still have your business, but what made you want to even get into public office in the first place? So let's talk about that journey.
Yeah, thank you. So I've always wanted to serve in public, and service is something that I've always done, whether it's serving as a youth basketball coach, serving on the board of a nonprofit organization, just doing volunteer service for other community organizations. I've always served. And in doing that service, you run into obstacles, and I've discovered that some of those obstacles have to do with government, and sometimes government gets in the way. So what better way to continue to serve and remove obstacles than serving in government and changing, enhancing, or improving policies to improve the lives of everyday people. So that made me push. And what really took me over the edge is when President Barack Obama won his election. That taught me that America is ready because, in a lot of cases, a Black elected official will win in a majority Black city or in a city that has a significant portion of minorities. And Tamarac wasn't there, and it's still not there yet. We represent 30% of the city. But Barack Obama's election taught me that America will, in a lot of cases, vote for someone based on their character, on their personality, on their attributes, not only basing them or judging them based on their race. And I felt confident that Tamarac would do the same thing, and that's what they did. All right, Ann Marie. Are you back on with us?
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. I apologize. My internet's a little wonky today.
No problem.
Well, thank you for sharing. So let's talk about some of your accomplishments as commissioner and vice mayor of the city of Tamarac, so the voters can get an understanding, and those who may not be familiar, an understanding of what you've been able to accomplish or work to accomplish in your current role, before we talk about the role you're seeking.
Thank you. Great question. So, as an elected official, we're policymakers, and we are to make policy that will enhance the lives of the people that we serve. And so in a very difficult period, especially with the COVID pandemic, there were a lot of residents, both on the high income spectrum and the lower income spectrum, that suffered during the pandemic through job losses, through reduced hours, through other circumstances that had them in a financially unstable position. So I asked the commission and led the commission and got support to take $250,000 from our reserve account and establish a fund to help residents in need when it comes to paying rent, mortgage, or utilities. And we did this before the federal government gave a dime to any city to help everyday people. And then when the federal government did establish a program, we revised our program because you had to meet very strict federal income guidelines in order to qualify for those benefits. And a lot of our residents did not meet those guidelines. So we changed our guidelines to make it easier for people who did not meet those extreme poverty levels to still access those dollars. A resident talked to me about her husband who died, a veteran who crossed the street to go to a VA center and he passed away in a traffic accident. And she talked to me about bringing a program called Vision Zero, which is a program of structuring transportation in such a way that it eliminates traffic fatalities or serious accidents. And I was able to lead the commission in getting that passed, and it's now being implemented in the city of Tamarac. I fought to get past a local business, local Tamarac, local Broward County, small business, and a veterans business preference program to help local Tamarac businesses, small Broward County businesses, and veteran-owned businesses win contracts with the city of Tamarac. We spend between $35 and $40 million a year, and very little goes to small businesses, Tamarac businesses, and almost nothing to veteran-owned businesses. So how do we really pay homage to veterans when we don't even patronize their businesses? And then, as you know, I tried to implement a minority business program to benefit Black-owned businesses, Hispanic-owned businesses, and women-owned businesses. This is something that's been practiced in a lot of different agencies like Palm Beach County, School Board of Broward County, Miami-Dade School Board. In order for us to have a successful economy, everyone has to participate and everyone has to succeed, and government has to take the lead on that. And I was very disappointed in the mayor of Tamarac, my opponent, because she led the effort to eliminate conducting a disparity study, which would have led to establishing a minority business program to benefit women-owned, minority-owned, Hispanic and Black-owned businesses.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate that happened. So I can understand why that probably prompts you to, one of the reasons it prompts you to step in and run for mayor. So let's talk about that. Why are you running for mayor? And what makes you the best candidate for the mayor, to be the next mayor of Tamarac?
Thank you. Great question. So I'm running for mayor because we need a leader that will truly represent the people of the city of Tamarac, and not special interests, not developers, but the people. That's who put us in office. That's who we need to represent. So whenever I was called to leadership by the residents, I led on that effort. So for example, I gave you the two examples of people in need during COVID, and then with the Vision Zero program. Another example, there's a developer that's interested in developing homes in a community where the majority of the residents in the community did not want it. And they were willing to sacrifice their time. We had a commission meeting that started at 7:00 p.m. and ended at 5 a.m. with resident after resident after resident. These are her neighbors who said they did not support this development, and she voted in favor of the development. And we later found out that the city manager who really pushed for that development was arrested for his role in a $3.4 million extortion scheme tied to this particular development. So was he pushing that development because he thought it was in the best interest of the community, which the residents certainly did not feel that way? Or was he doing it because he was waiting to get some back-end payments from his $3.4 million extortion scheme? And the mayor played a role in pushing for a vote in a certain manner for that particular development. So we need a leader that believes in transparency and accountability, and a leader that will demonstrate that. So I led the effort to fire that city manager. I led the effort to conduct a forensic audit to ensure that no additional financial crimes were committed. I'm leading the effort to expand opportunities for small businesses and for disenfranchised groups to uplift the overall economy. I led the effort to lower property taxes 2 years in a row. The mayor fought against lowering property taxes. So we need a leader and a mayor who's going to fight for the best interests of the residents and the business community of the city of Tamarac. And we need a leader that's going to hold whoever we place in charge of the city manager, accountable for doing the right thing so that the business community can trust that the city manager is not looking out for his own personal interests, but is truly looking out for the best interests of the city of Tamarac.
Well, thank you for that. And what do you say to those who, well, first of all, do you think Tamarac is ready for a Black mayor? And then what do you say to those who may feel like you're only pushing a Black agenda?
Yeah, so yeah, I certainly think the city of Tamarac is ready. They demonstrated that when they first elected Commissioner Bolton in District 1. He was the first Black commissioner in the city of Tamarac. Just 2 years later, I won in District 2 over 2 white males. So that demonstrates that the city of Tamarac is ready. And then even in 2014, when I first ran for mayor, I garnered 6,000 votes. And that's with little to no money, very little strategy. So I think the city is definitely ready. And they're ready because they're judging me not just based on my race, but based on my character, my leadership ability, and what I've accomplished thus far as a vice mayor and District 2 commissioner. And then regarding the pushing a Black agenda, I'm not pushing any Black agenda. I represent for all communities in Tamarac. So for example, when the Hispanic community asked me to pass a resolution in support of extending TPS for Honduras, I led the effort in getting that passed. And in fact, the only Hispanic person on the commission voted against it. The mayor, that many people think is Hispanic because of her last name, she voted against it. I'm the only person on the commission that voted in favor of celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. So I view my role as representing all demographics, including Black individuals, white individuals, and the Hispanic community, and other communities that are in Tamarac.
Well, that's good to know. So you're the person who will unite the different cultures and create a more inclusive environment. It sounds like what I'm hearing.
Absolutely, and I led the effort to make Juneteenth a official holiday in the city of Tamarac. We did that 1 year before President Biden did. Prior to my arrival, we did not celebrate Caribbean Heritage Month. We now celebrate Caribbean Heritage Month. And one of my goals is to further celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, because in the city of Tamarac, although Hispanics represent approximately 30% of the population, we really don't do much of anything to acknowledge and celebrate the diversity and the great accomplishments that they bring to our city.
That's wonderful. Now let's talk about the election. First of all, is it too late to register to vote? When does early voting start? And when is your actual election?
So unfortunately, it is too late to register to vote. That just passed, I want to say, a day ago. I think it was the October 11th. Anyone who is registered to vote can vote in 3 ways. You can vote on election day, November 8th, but you have to vote at your assigned precinct on that day. You can vote at any library during the early voting period, which is from October 24th through November 6th. And then there are people who have their ballots in hand right now. I just got a text message before this call. Someone was asking me how to vote on certain items. Anyone who requested a ballot by mail, and in Tamarac, approximately 19,000 people asked for a ballot by mail, they have them in hand right now. And so we are reaching out to voters via phone call, text messages, emails, and asking for the vote for Mike Gelin for mayor of Tamarac, because I'm going to bring progressive and bold policies to the city of Tamarac.
And I meant to ask you this earlier, and you may have mentioned some things, but if you're elected as mayor, what are some of the major initiatives or efforts that you plan to lead, let's just say in your first 100 days?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So in the first 100 days, one of my first goals is to establish an Office of Senior Health and Wellness. we have a broad range of seniors that live in the city of Tamarac. We have those that live in the Kings Point community, which is a wonderful community, almost like a luxury community where they have some great amenities, and those folks are doing well. Then we have some folks that are not doing so well. They're living on a fixed income, living on Social Security income, and they need to partner with nonprofit organizations, with the city's social service department, the county social service department, and other organizations to assist with rent, to assist with navigating Medicare, Medicaid. So I want to establish an office to help those residents get the service they need so they can live out their final days with some pride and with some dignity. Also, like I said earlier, I tried to get a forensic audit passed, and the mayor led the charge against it. The attorney general stated publicly and in her official press release that the former city manager, Michael Cernich, was arrested for his role in a $3.4 million extortion scheme, lied to elected officials, to other staff members. He lied at the highest level of government. So what did he lie about? What did we vote on and approve multi-million-dollar expenditures on where he was going to get some kind of personal gain? We don't know that. So we need to conduct a forensic audit to uncover any potential financial crimes that he may have committed so we can claw that money back and bring it back to our taxpayers. I think it's important to bring the community together. And so one of the things I want to do is establish a community garden. We have a diverse community in Tamarac where you have folks from Latin America, folks from the Caribbean, and folks from America that enjoy gardens. They enjoy growing fruits and vegetables. A lot of other cities have very successful and engaging community gardens. I want to build a successful community garden in the city of Tamarac. I don't think we do enough to engage our youth. We do have a youth advisory council. If you ask the average parent, they know nothing about it. We need to expand and grow our youth advisory council, bring young kids into government so they understand you can have a successful and profitable career in government, and to understand how the government works. And then when we travel to Tallahassee and to Washington, D.C., to advocate on behalf of our city, we should be able to bring a select number of students with us so they can gain from that knowledge and that experience of being close to the elected officials. We meet with our state representatives when we go to D.C. We meet with Marco Rubio. We meet with Rick Scott. We need to bring our kids in the room so they can really fully understand how government works from the local level all the way to the highest level. Obviously, I want to attract and retain more businesses in the Tamarac. Tamarac has one of the highest property taxes in the county, and we've brought it down 2 years in a row, and I led on that effort. But as we grow the number of businesses in Tamarac and as property values increase, we can afford to lower the property tax rate and ease the burden on our taxpayers. And also want to promote smart growth. The city and the county is growing. People are moving to South Florida, so we need to grow and accommodate that. But we need to grow in a smart way so that we don't ruin the quality of life of residents who already live in Tamarac. And then finally, I certainly want to push for fair and equitable spending when we're spending with contractors and vendors. And that means we do need to conduct a disparity study. We do need to implement a minority business preference programs so that individuals in the minority community of Hispanics, of women-owned businesses and Black-owned businesses has a fair opportunity to win contracts in the city of Tamarac. A study was conducted by Citibank, by McKinsey, by some of the world's largest and most respected consulting firms. And they demonstrate that when Hispanic-owned businesses and Black-owned businesses succeed, the entire country thrives. We add to our gross economic, I can't think of the name right now, but our gross domestic product increases. Everyone benefits when disenfranchised communities increase their level of income and engagement, and it benefits everyone. So there's no reason why we should not be conducting a study and implementing policies that will give everyone fair access to winning government contracts and improving the overall economy. So while Ann Marie is trying to get reconnected, I'll tell you a little bit more about me. I'm married for 15 years in November, and I'll be on the polls on my anniversary day. Also I'm a small business owner. I'm in my work office now. I'm an insurance broker, and what that means is I work on employee benefits. So I work with small businesses and local government and large businesses to help them design, select, and implement their employee benefits program. So if you have health insurance, medical insurance, dental insurance through your employer, most likely they have an insurance broker, which is somebody like me, or a larger firm, and they work with the HR director, CFO, CEO to help them decide how much you're going to pay out of your paycheck, how much the company is going to pay on your behalf, to decide what level of benefits to offer to you, to decide what level of life insurance you should have, and whether or not you should have long-term or short-term disability insurance. So we work with companies to determine the level of benefits and the cost for those benefits for those individuals. One thing I enjoy about being a youth basketball coach is I'm not just teaching the game of basketball, but also teaching the game of life. You know, how to sacrifice for your teammate. What is teamwork? How to collaborate, coordinate, how to support each other. These are all lessons that kids need to learn at a young age, and it takes them throughout the course of their lifetime, as long as they have really good coaches like myself. What else about me? I'm on the ballot in November and right now. And I see Ann Marie, hey, you're coming back on. I try to keep it live while you're going.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay, my apologies. I'm sure you said all the amazing things that I missed out on.
Yes.
Okay, so to close out, as we were kind of wrapping up, what would you like to leave with our listeners? How can they get involved? How can they reach you? And any last thoughts for them?
Yeah, so be sure to vote, whatever city you're representing. Be sure to vote and make sure the person that you're voting for has an agenda for you. So if you, whatever community you're from, Hispanic, Black, White, Asian, make sure there's an agenda for you, or that you are included in their platform. You can help by donating at MikeGelin.com. You can follow on social media. Most of my handles are consistent. Mike for Tamarac on Facebook.
Did we just lose Mike? Well, Mike's coming back. Give us a moment. We apologize to everyone that's tuned in. We're just both having some technical difficulties today. There he is.
Yeah, so Mike for Tamarac on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter and Facebook. Donations are always appreciated. It takes money to relay a message to voters as to why I'm the best candidate in the race. So my goal again is to increase opportunities for local, small, minority-owned businesses. My goal is to make sure we have a great quality of life, focus on public safety so that we have a safe community where everyone feels welcome, and create opportunities or create opportunities for all, but make sure we also take care of our seniors. One of the great accomplishments that I plan to accomplish before my term is over is to establish a program called Ride Freebie. And Ride Freebie is essentially an Uber-like platform that's free for Tamarac residents. 31 out of 34 cities in Miami-Dade County has it. And it works like Uber. You download an app, they pick you up from your home and take you to set destinations that are established by the city of Tamarac. So we're working on that now. Hope to bring that to you before the end of my first term. And I look forward to serving the next 4 years as mayor of the city of Tamarac. Thank you, Ann Marie, for having me on your great show.
Thank you for being here, Vice Mayor Gelin. We at Legacy wish you the best of luck. Please let us know how the election goes. Of course, if you're elected as mayor, we'd love to have you back on, and so you can tell us what you're going to be doing and how you're going to make things work in as that new role. So we wish you the best, and we thank you for joining us. Just stay with me for a couple of quick announcements. We want to thank our sponsors again, the Mesman and Dover Accident Attorneys, AARP, the Florida Lottery, FAMU Mary, and All of Us Research Program at the University of Miami. I also want, if you have not checked out our current issue, please do so online. And also nominations are open for potential women in business and industry. And be sure to watch all of our other shows. Monday is The Business of Black Business at 1 p.m. with Jay Reynolds. Tuesday, My Money at 7 p.m. with Brigette Tompkins. Wednesday, Soul at 7 p.m. with Nikki Gelin. Thursdays, Lunch with Legacy Leaders with yours truly, as well as Flavor of South Florida at 7 p.m. with Chef Irie. And on Friday is Black Health Fridays at 2 p.m. with Dr. Michelle Kerwin. Please be sure to share this video, of course, like it, subscribe, and visit us at miamediagrp.com for more information, as well as subscribe to our weekly newsletter so you can get all of our updates on what's happening in and around South Florida. Thank you again, Vice Mayor Gelin, and thank you to our audience for joining us this Thursday. We'll see you next Thursday at noon.
All right, thank you.